All right, hello everybody. Woo! Welcome to Comic Book Syndicate. We're back. Look, it's the Spider Friends minus Specs Luthor. I'm your co-host Mike-EL, and as always, we're joined by
Joshua Murr-VELL, and today we're going to be talking about the 2025 Superman movie.
And look who's back. It's G.I.Jolie. Woo!
Hello, here I am.
Thanks for joining us, Jolie. What is the special occasion? Why did you decide to join us for this particular review?
Superman.
Superman.
It's a special occasion. Superman, done by James Gunn.
That's right.
Sorry, my camera's wild.
That's okay.
And unhinged.
So, in case you don't know, Josh and I have become James Gunn experts because we just watched a movie he did called The Specials. No, The Specials.
Oh.
I highly recommend you check it out. We'll share it with you. It stars Rob Lowe and some other people. It's like a Mystery Men done right.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about specials. We're here to talk about Superman, right?
That's right. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to talk about this movie because...
Of course.
Okay, so I'm not a huge Superman fan.
That's unfortunate.
Excuse me.
Never really, it's just never really clicked with me too much.
Yeah.
I feel like my issue with a lot of the stuff that I've either read or seen with Superman is just he's just like a little bit too powerful, a little bit like he's a little too strong. He has too much going for him, and I feel like the kryptonite only works so much.
Sure.
Until it starts getting old. And I think I really appreciate this movie for kind of making him not this all-powerful being that can't be stopped. Like, the first thing we see in this movie, and we're going to talk spoilers, obviously. The first thing we see in this movie is we find out that he just lost his first fight. And it's just like the aftermath of him losing. And that's how we start off with this new Superman. And I think it's really fun and fresh, and I think it's a great way to kind of introduce this.
I think you're right, and it's funny because despite, when I grew up, my first exposure to Superman was the Christopher Reeve Superman, and in Superman 2, he gets attacked by the Phantom Zone villains, and they throw a bus against him. And I remember even as a kid thinking, Superman's dead. He can't survive getting hit by a bus. So to me, every generation theoretically should kind of reset whenever they see a new version of Superman. But despite all these reboots, we still have this mentality of younger people where they go, Superman can't be hurt. Nothing, Superman's all powerful. But he has not been as powerful as he was in the old days for like 30, 40 years.
Right.
He used to be omnipotent, but now he's, with the comics and the TV shows and the movies, he's never been that powerful. So you're right, though. I'm glad that they established that in the opening shot of the movie. That was very smart.
Yeah.
G.I.Jolie is sending a message from Krypton. It's just getting deciphered right now. We're going to figure out what it means. There we go. G.I.Jolie, what's your take on Superman the character?
Okay. So now Mike is gone.
Sorry to disappoint you. I'm not Bradley Cooper. Go ahead.
I don't know. I feel like just as disconnected as Josh is from Superman. He just seemed like this really unstoppable person. My first introduction to Superman was Dean Cain, and Lois and Clark. So it was like newspaper Clark. And I really enjoyed the human aspect of the character, but when it came to the superheroing, it was like almost like secondary in that show. And it was like, whatever they throw at him this week, it's gonna be fine because he's Superman. He's just gonna solve the problem and be fine. It's not the case, I guess. It made him a little more fallible. Not fallible, maybe that's the wrong word, but like he's had the crap kicked out of him. He's like covered in blood, and the only thing that can save him is like crypto. Or the only help he can have is Crypto, who is also extremely, like, not so reliable. He's an actual dog.
Right.
There was a grounding of the very first two characters that, like, you just assume, or you grow up thinking, well, gosh, they're aliens, so they must be more special than us, but they're not. And a lot of, like, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but a lot of this film is Superman identifying as human, which is like a great concept as a human being watching this film. So, I grew up thinking he was just unstoppable and not really connecting as much as I did with Batman. But there's something about this Superman that is very relatable, and as well as, like, the entire cast around him. So we'll get into it.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just give my brief initial impression then. I think, okay, all of my initial reservations, I think, kind of came true because I at the end of the day, I do think there was too many characters and there was almost too much plot. So my impression of this movie is that it's a really good movie if it was the fifth movie in a series or the third or the second season of a TV show. However, it was not a corporate product. It was not a cookie cutter checklist movie. It was the vision of James Gunn. And I love everything James Gunn does. I think he's a great person to write Superman. I don't think he's maybe the best. Maybe he's like in the top 5. But my impression of this movie is that it stays with me and I remember it and I want to watch it again. And I think it's good for the character and good for DC. But I really do wish they would have, considering this is the beginning of a new thing, I hate to say it, but I really wish they would have started at the beginning. That's my impression. And I'll get to why later. But that's my impression is we're coming in. It's one thing to come in the middle of the story like Star Wars, but we really, I felt like, needed introduction. This wasn't the beginning. This wasn't being dropped into the middle of a world. It was being dropped into the middle of a story. Like Star Wars drops you into the middle of a ongoing saga, but we're still introduced to Luke Skywalker. We're introduced to Han Solo. We're introduced to Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're introduced to the droids. And we get to know them. And this movie, none of that happens. And I'll get to more on that later. But Josh, what's your impression of this movie?
Yeah, I kind of appreciated that they didn't have to do a backstory again. I feel like there's a lot of characters that we know their backstory. We've talked about it a lot on Tape Crusaders too, where it's like I don't want to see Batman's parents get shot again. I don't need to see the pearls hitting the ground. I don't need to see the popcorn and the roses. Like we get it. I feel like everybody at this point knows. So I feel like with this one, it feels like my first time reading a comic where I just picked up an issue and started reading. And I was able to pick up what was going on just by jumping in the middle. Like I didn't need to start at Superman #1 to understand. I picked it up as I went. I think as far as too many things going on, I didn't necessarily think that too many things were going on for me in this. I think that they just needed to focus on one of the subplots a little bit more than they had in this movie.
Sure.
Kind of jumping to like the end of the movie, that like last little scene before the credits, I think is a wonderful scene. I love it. The kind of build up to that where he's in the fortress and the window opens up and the sun comes in and he heals, and then the robot's asking him if he'd like to hear the message from his parents. That kind of like happening the multiple times, and then at the end that payoff is brilliant. I think where I needed a little bit more was just more with him, like more with Clark and Ma and Pa Kent, to kind of give us that little bit more of a build up to him realizing that like he's not where he came from. He is who he is because of what he does and who raised him. And I think we just needed a little bit more of him kind of reflecting on that, and maybe even like having a conversation with Ma and Pa Kent about like after the message goes out, like, listen, like my parents, and like, what am I supposed to do? My parents are these like awful people, and then they can kind of give some insight, and we can see that like thought process of like, those aren't my parents, these are my parents, right? Like, this is who I am. I'm human.
Yes. Yep.
And that speech too, with like when he that like monologue he gives Lex at the end was brilliant. I loved it. That him being scared when he wakes up, or having these fears, that's what makes him human. Like, I feel like it would have I just needed a little bit more of that like build up.
Well, I'll get to specifics of what I think they had too much of and not enough of. But Jolie, are you glad that they jumped in and didn't have the origin, or did you want them? Okay.
Just as a person who lives in North America, and exists, I don't know that having that extra would have made any difference. Superman, the character, and his entire backstory, almost his entire backstory, just him being an alien, Kansas, it's all synonymous with like with our culture. It's just very ingrained already, and it doesn't need to happen. I could hear a lot of people in the theater murmuring about it too, that like they were just really glad that it didn't happen, and they didn't have to see, pearls and death. That same sort of sentiment happening in the theater about not getting that background. You just, because at this point you just know, when you hear Jimmy Olsen's name, you know who Jimmy Olsen is. When you hear Lois's name, you know who Lois is. The only question is like, is he with her? Is he not with her? Like, that's really, you know what I mean? And it's just, these characters are just icons. So you can't, I think he's fortunate. James Gunn is fortunate to have that so he can focus. It's not to say that he won't in the future, if he gets a franchise out of this. Like, he won't in the future explore these things, Well,
okay, let's put it this way. I don't want anyone to steal my idea for a Superman pitch, but I'll give you my 30-second pitch.
It's a good thing they'll never see this video.
Yeah,
James Gunn, stop watching right now.
Yeah, stop watching right now, DC. No, but seriously, they've done, if you think about Superman, they've done Teenage Superman. They've done a Superboy TV show. They've done Smallville. They've done Superman Married with Kids. They've done Kingdom Come in the future, the comic I'm talking about. But there's only one version of Superman that has been done twice. First time was done by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. And then it was done by Grant Morrison and has never been touched again. And that's the Superman that appears out of nowhere, beats up some bad guys and disappears, and no one really knows who he is, and no one knows anything about him. Now imagine if this movie started out like that, with like Action Comics #1, where he comes in and beats up someone and leaves, and he comes up and he appears here and does this and disappears. And that's kind of how they did the first Superman movie. But then right away we get Lois Lane's interview with him. Then right away he's saving the world from Lex Luthor, which is fine. But imagine if in that interview we don't find out anything about his origin, because even he doesn't know. Because in the comics, it took something like 10 years before Superman knew he was from Krypton, even though the audience knew. So imagine if this guy showed up and he didn't know anything about himself. And then we as the audience learned along with him, where maybe one day he discovers a piece of kryptonite and he's like, well, why does it affect me? And somehow through astronomers or something, they piece together, oh, this makes sense. Or then maybe that leads him to find his own ship. Like maybe something, I don't know. And then maybe at the end of the movie, that's when he finds out his origin. It's kind of like Smallville. He finds out pieces.
Yeah, I was like, that's what happened in like the first season of Smallville.
10 seasons of Smallville. But I guess the point is it's not just Clark learning it. It's also like the people of Metropolis. Maybe no one knows anything about Superman. It's just, some guy that just shows up and, it's kind of like an Arrow or the Flash, where it's the Hood, it's the Streak, it's the Vigilante. Because for the first year of their career, they're just this mystery vigilante that shows up. Now, I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but considering this is the first one that's supposed to reboot the whole universe, I would have liked that. But I do agree, it's already been done with Man of Steel. It was already done with Richard Donner's Superman, so I can understand why they want to move past that and just jump in. Mm-hmm. So, that being said, okay, go ahead.
That's like a completely different story from what we've got now.
Well, of course, but I guess let's put it this way. I think the one thing that bugged me about the way that everything was set up was that they say, okay, Superman's been around for 3 years. I don't mind that, but imagine if this was Superman year 3, and then we find out, oh, now there's he's going to meet new superheroes. Finally, after 3 years, he's not alone. But no, Guy Gardner's already been around. Mr. Terrific, like they've been around for a while, I think, right? In this, when they show up as the Justice Gang, yeah. So it's just kind of like, again, it's not even the middle of the story. It's like you're dropped in the last 10 minutes of a big story. So I just kind of wish that we would have been a little bit at the ground in the ground up. But you don't think so, Jolie?
No, I didn't. I'm not bothered by that. I feel like every reboot, every time someone decides that they're going to do their take on something, that I'm just sitting through that.
Okay.
And then we're just reviewing the same BS over and over. It's like, okay, great. We saw this. Wasn't that awesome? And we saw this again.
Again.
And this is their take on this. And isn't that great? No, it's not great. I don't care. I don't want to see, like, no offense, Josh. Not now. I think I saw enough of what I needed to see of Ma and Pa Kent for now.
Okay.
I'd like to see them a little more later. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I just don't care to see. Like, we already know he's allergic to kryptonite. Or not allergic, it'll kill him. But like, well, I guess that could be an allergy too. But like, we already know.
Kryptonian EpiPen for
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna concede one thing. What?
No, yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
I do, and this is one of my friends asked me what I thought of the movie, and I said what I liked about it is that James Gunn had a mission. He's like, this is my statement, my Superman statement. And he did it. Like, he had his big idea, and we know what it was. It is about being an immigrant. It is about overseas conflict. It is about U.S. interference in foreign conflict. It is about secret deals and selling weapons. It is about modern politics, just like Superman has always been. And so I'll give him 100% credit for that, for doing that. And I guess knowing that, and knowing that it's the vision of one person, of course, there's going to be rough edges, and I'm not going to agree with every choice he made, but it's his movie. He should be able to do what he wants. The only thing I'll say, the only criticism I have, is that I do feel like, I mean, I don't know if the studio meddled at all, but there was at least one moment that I felt was cut and pasted and inserted in. You remember the moment where he's fighting, spoiler alert, his clone, and then all of a sudden he flies out and he's back in the city, or I don't remember how it starts, but I think someone says, oh, the Nighthawks are going to attack, and then there's like 1,000 of those robot things in the sky, and he has to fight them all, and then he uses his heat vision to spin around and shoot them all. Considering that was not in the first trailer, but it was in the second trailer, I think that scene was added in because he literally flies out of that ravine, fights them all, and lands back in the exact same spot he was before, which proves it could have easily been inserted in post-production and in reshoots. And the reason I didn't like it is because I don't like that CGI stuff. I don't like when characters are just in a world that just looks like a video game and the camera's spinning around them and there's no physics and they can do whatever they want. I really don't like that. But in this movie, most of the CGI, like when Superman was fighting that, what do they call it? What are those big monsters called? Kaijus. When he was fighting that kaiju, it looked great.
Yeah.
Like not great, but it looked good. Like it looked like this is how you do it. It looks realistic and it looks like it's in a real city.
The
right?
scale was great. The weighting, like it felt like it was heavy enough where when he's holding down the foot, saving the dog, like you could feel the weight behind it all. I didn't necessarily hate that moment that you were talking about, but it's not like I would miss it if it was gone. Right. I don't know. I think, okay, so going back to what you were saying about the Justice Gang, I'm happy that we're dropped in the middle of the story with the Justice Gang. I don't care to know about the origin of how they got together and seeing, like, I understand. What's interesting about it is the fact that they're kind of these reluctant heroes, and not necessarily like, oh, I don't want to save the day, but they're just kind of like, it's a job to them. It's not like, yeah, they don't feel like the Avengers, you know what I mean? Like they're sitting around their headquarters, vegging out, like they don't even want to like join in half the time. They don't want to find a better solution to fighting the kaiju. They're just like, I don't know, kill it and we'll dispose of it or something. I don't have time for this. Like, don't really care to do it. That's what's exciting, I think, is their dynamic together versus Superman's dynamic. So I think, for me, I think what they didn't show us was enough, and what they did was what we needed to focus on in the movie, and I didn't feel like I was missing anything. And for what it's worth, too, I went to go see this with my girlfriend, and she had never seen a Superman anything. Like, never seen a Superman movie, TV show, anything. And she went in and she said she loved it. Well, there you go. That's good, she had almost no prior knowledge. The only thing she knew was that he was an alien, and that's about it.
Well, it is doing really well at the box office. Apparently the Batman opened bigger, but I think it's like word of mouth has carried it through the weekend, and like it's already selling out on tonight's screening, so that's good, right? And they've already finished filming Supergirl.
Yep.
So this bodes well for the DCU, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, okay, so Jolie, was there anything about the movie that you didn't like as far as the plot?
Do you know what? I was talking about it earlier with my friend Tim, and he's like, "So what did you think?" And I had said, "Oh my god, it was amazing. It was so entertaining, and like, it wasn't boring, which is the same thing, but I loved it." He's like, "Oh really? You liked the guy who played Lex Luthor?" And I was like, "Wait, no." I like Chris Holt. Right? I love him in The Great as Peter. And I loved him as the Beast. But like he made a point about him kind of about the character not seeming like, are we swearing, rich and asshole-ish enough. Like he's kind of like a brainy bro type. And I feel like he thought it was like he was cast as sort of dweeby, which I can see, because Chris Holt comes off as like a little bit younger looking.
I think you mean Nicholas Holt, not Chris Holt, right? Chris Holt is the
oh my god, that's
city councilor in Windsor, Ontario. Yeah.
Did I say Chris
Holt,
twice?
So. Twice, yeah.
Okay, Nicholas. Yeah. Okay, that would make sense. Okay. Anyway, him. I didn't enjoy him as Lex Luthor as much as I thought I did. Maniacal, yes. Like, because even people who are a little bit like, he isn't like typically like a beefcake type. He doesn't have like a beefcake face. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have like a Bruce Wayne face. And I think that's like more of what I expect from like a billionaire who isn't a playboy, but who also is really smart. But I think what he lacked in that, like just the outward appearance of that kind of a person, was the fact that he played a very maniacal, jealous person very well. Mm-hmm. And that is Lex Luthor to me. And it was like, I don't feel like I've seen this Lex Luthor before. He's like bloodthirsty.
And I really like the moment when Superman comes in and he's like, "Where's the dog?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about," or whatever he says. Mm-hmm. Like moments like what that dog? I thought were great. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. I thought he did like, really well.
I said it out loud, and I was like, "Just give him his dog!" Oh my god!
Well, it was legit. Like it was a nice sentimental moment, right? Like he's just looking for his dog. Yeah.
And I think I think he was my favorite performance in the movie. Personally, I really liked him as Lex Luthor, and I think that he plays a really good balance of that like comic booky, cartoonishly evil, right? Like when he's pretty much just petty. You know what I mean? Like he's like the pettiest person on earth, and he just doesn't like Superman because he doesn't like Superman. Mm-hmm. And that's really fun when we're seeing those moments. But then when Superman's in the prison in the other dimension, and they bring the like hot dog stand guy in and
Oh my
he's playing
gosh.
Russian roulette and he kills him. It is brutal. Like I'm so it shocked me that he actually killed him. I really thought that it was going to be like a blank or something, and he was going to and it was so quick. Like it. Yeah. So,
and then when the gun went off, he was like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah.
That was a lot faster than I thought it would happen.
Yeah. So he, for me, he had like a really good balance of maniacal and like evil, and then also like campy and fun to match the tone of Superman.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly what I thought he would be, but I did really like him as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He had a certain element that no other Lex Luthor has had that I really liked. Yeah.
And I think this is the first Lex Luthor I can picture in like the purple and green suit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like in that comic book, like I think that in later on, if he comes back and he's full comic booky, or if he's in like the robot suit or something, like whatever they do with that character, I think he can pull it off in this universe that they've set up. So
well, and I like how he's a mixture of like he's like the evil genius like Gene Hackman, but he's also a billionaire like the modern one, and he also gets government contracts, so he's kind of in between. I like that, you know. But since we're talking about actors, why don't we talk about Superman himself, David Corenswet? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Corenswet, yeah.
Corenswet. I thought he was really good. He's still not as good as Christopher Reeve, but because no one is. But I thought he was really good. The one criticism I have is I think his Clark Kent voice was as deep as Superman's and almost exactly the same. So I didn't like that, but I did like him as Superman.
Well, sorry.
Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, I think I don't know. I think this is what they're playing at in this world is the fact that like Lois thinks that she's the only one that knows, but like literally everyone knows.
I don't think. Do they imply that?
Perry literally says it.
No, but he's talking about Superman and Lois. He doesn't. I don't think he implies that he knows they're the same. He just says, "How long have they been?"
Yeah.
Whatever. I think he's just talking about Superman and Lois, not Clark and Lois.
Oh, not necessarily Clark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't get a lot of him playing the fake Clark in this movie.
Right.
If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, we don't really see him a whole lot at the Daily Planet in his disguise. When he's Clark, he's usually with Lois, who knows already. So we don't really get that dynamic a whole lot in this movie. I'd be curious to see him get a chance to play that a little bit more in the future. Because, yeah, I think, like in the original Superman, when we have the interview, he's still pretending to be he's still like putting on that like Superman persona, right?
Sure, yeah.
With Lois. But in this version of the interview, they know each other already, right? So
it's
they're
weird.
It's
a different
little
dynamic.
bit different dynamic. So yeah, I don't think I would say I disliked him as Clark, because I feel like we just didn't get enough of it in this story. Yeah.
So there's a lot of actors to talk about. Why don't we talk about Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnahan? I thought she's in my top 3 Lois Lanes after Phyllis Coates and Terry Hatcher. She might eventually be number 1. I think she's absolutely perfect, and to me, she reminds me of Tobey Maguire in the way that I read Spider-Man comics for 30 years, and then when I saw Tobey Maguire, he was what Spider-Man or Peter Parker looked like, but I didn't know that's what he looked like. And that's what I feel like Rachel Brosnahan is. It's like, oh, that's Lois Lane. To me, she's the perfect Lois Lane, and personality-wise as well too. I thought she was great. Jolie, what'd you think?
Oh my god, I love her so much. I saw her. I watched the entirety of the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Was on my list now.
Right. Okay. This is one of those like HBO shows, like, you know what I mean. That has to kind of, you got to do it for the culture because it's in it, and she's in it, and she's like a phenomenal actress. But I was watching it, and I was like, no offense, Margot Kidder, but like, this woman is Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Like, also Terry Hatcher. Terry Hatcher was my Lois Lane too.
Yep.
But no, replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They can't, if they reboot this and they like recast David Cornswet, they got to keep her. She's gonna be the constant. She has to be.
I agree. Josh, what do you think?
No, she was great. I think David kind of had it a little bit easier in the moments where they're like going off each other, because he's always just the golly gee, right? And I don't think that their dynamic would have worked if it wasn't for her. Like, she does a great job playing off of that, because that's like one thing about Superman that can't really change. You know, it's that constant. So her playing off of it was brilliant. Her like not committing at the start, and then being like awkward with the "I love you," like all of these moments were so well done. I think she did great. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna keep talking about the main cast, like the Daily Planet cast. We got two more people to talk about. Well, maybe three. Perry White, played by Wendell Pierce, who I know from The Wire. He only had 3 or 4 lines at most, but I thought he was good.
Yeah.
And I know he's a good actor because I've seen him before, but he didn't get much screen time, right?
Not a whole lot.
Not really, no.
But he was good. Yeah. I think he did a pretty good job.
His presence was very Perry White.
Yeah.
What you would expect.
100%. Okay, so there's not much to say about him. So we'll jump to Jimmy Olsen, who had a bigger role. Skylar Gisondo. I've seen him in other stuff. I don't really know what, but I thought maybe he was a little bit too old and a little bit too hip, because I think Jimmy should be a teenager and be really nerdy and have the red hair. But this guy was good, though. Like, I like this guy's vibe.
Yeah, I liked him. That subplot was a little bit strange. It almost felt like the most fantastical part about this movie. Like,
they that's a good point.
Really explain like why he has this aura with women, and it's fun. I like it. I think it's really fun, and I think the jokes land for the most part. I think what is a little bit strange at times is when it kind of was central to the plot. I was like, I like it and I'm having fun, but I don't like 100% buy it.
It was the most specials aspect of this plot. It was ridiculous. Yeah. And you kind of just have to go with it or not go with it, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm going with it because that's what the plot is telling me is happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
It's just like James Gunn is there like, he's a ladies' man. You just got to trust me, you know? Like, we're not like seeing that dynamic, but I guess that's kind of the joke. A joke is that like nobody understands why.
We're also not going to explain it.
You're right. Yeah.
Jimmy Olsen has this animal magnetism aura that like no one understands, and you're not going to understand it.
Right.
Because he's, he's, as the kids say, demure, nonchalant. Like, he's just Jimmy Olsen, and no one's going to question it.
Yeah.
Least of all, freaking Eve Tessmacher. Good God. That, honestly, it was fantastic enough. Like, this was the cartoon. That plot line was the cartoon moment that brought me out of the movie. That was like, oh yeah, okay, this is a Superman movie.
Well, even like her doing the selfies, it was so over the top. It was like, okay, take it easy. Oh, okay, right. And that doesn't pay off, so it's fine. I like the actress that played Miss Tessmacher. I'm glad, because she's a character that's only from the movie. She was brought into the comics 20 years later, but she was introduced in the movie, so I'm glad that they kept her, you know? Yeah. And then, now, we're not going to talk about him, but Otis was also in the movie, but he had, like, 1 line.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys,
was he not in the movie?
Yeah, he was. He's credited Otis, Terrence Rosemore, and they called him Otis in the film. He's a big black dude. Yeah, he was there, like, he had, like, 1 line.
Oh, okay, cool.
They didn't give him much to do. But anyway, go ahead, Jolie.
Was a sports writer always like a big, like the guy that Beck Bennett played?
Oh, okay. So Steve Lombard was introduced in the 70s and like 71 as like a new foil for Clark Kent, and he was like the bully of the Daily Planet. Then they wrote him out in 85, and I don't even know if he's ever come back since. what's his name? Beck Bennett is so goddamn funny in that role. But he only had like 4 lines. But even when he was in the background, I was dying laughing. Like when he was in that spaceship, Mr. Terrific spaceship thing, I thought he was great.
And why am I the only one with no seat?
Yeah, I know, right? Bring him back, please. He was so good.
Yeah, I think they had so much restraint with his character because he's very funny and in the background, like you were saying. It's so good. Right. I don't know if the one line I really love too is when the city is being evacuated and everybody's panicking, he's on the phone and he's like, please just put my baby on the phone so I can say goodbye one last time. And as he's walking away, he goes, I don't care if she's a cat. They understand me. Like, it's so good. Yeah. It's
and he's the perfect actor for that. And moments like that, I can see like Beck Bennett and Sean Gunn and James Gunn just be like, okay, what if I did this? What if I did this? And they're just like piling on jokes, right?
He has like Kristen Wiig level like scene stealing potential, and he didn't do it. And they, you know what I mean? Like it could have went another way here at the Daily Planet, but it did not.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I love them. See, like, and that's the thing is, moments like that are what make me want to go back and rewatch it, just to soak all that in, because there's so much going on in the background, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of funny characters, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. Of course, we all love him from Firefly and from everything else he's done.
Everything he's done, yeah.
Yes. I love the haircut.
I was getting my teeth scaled, and like they were playing The Rookie, and I forgot that he was in that show. Jesus. It's so good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Nathan Fillion. The haircut.
But, I mean... here's another one where I've loved Guy Gardner my whole life, and I'm like, who would play Guy? Oh, that's right. Yes, Nathan Fillion would play Guy Gardner. So even though he didn't have as much to do as I wanted him to, and even though he was almost like slightly over the top, like if he would have dialed it back to what's the captain's name on in Firefly.
Mal.
Yeah, like he just needed to be Mal, but he went over the top, and that's okay. But I could have done with just Mal, just being like a subtle asshole. But in this, he was an over-the-top asshole. But I still love him.
You have to be a subtle asshole with a haircut like that. Oh my god!
Mm-hmm. I think it was hilarious. I really liked his character, and I love that the bangs aren't even cut straight. Like when you're looking at it, it's like so uneven. Like it's the shittiest haircut I've ever seen. It's great.
And he, that version of like, he's the perfect foil for Superman, right? Like bring him back and have him be the asshole guy always, like perfect.
It's not like I think he played it really well because he's an asshole, but he's not a bad person.
No, he's a glory hound, but he is there to do good, right? Right.
Yeah. Because like somebody like Peacemaker, for example, is too bad, like too too much in the opposite direction, where like Guy Gardner in this movie is still very much a hero. He's just a dick about it.
Okay, Isabella, is it Merced or Merced as Hawkgirl?
I think it's Merced.
Yeah, I thought she was great. Again, she didn't have many lines, but I thought she was perfect. I thought she was great as Hawkgirl. And she was also a little bit more ruthless. Like, you remember when she dropped the guy? Mm-hmm. So it's like, make her a different type of character. I thought she was great. What did you guys think?
She was almost like an animal.
Right.
She had a very like animalistic quality about her, which was surprising. But every time she screeched, people around me, including my husband, laughed. So it was kind of like it's hard to concentrate. She'd be like, eh! And someone would be like,
yeah,
you know.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that was James Gunn playing into the ridiculousness of her. Like in the old in the 80s comics, they would or maybe it was the 60s. They'd advertise, the winged wonder Hawkman is coming back with his mighty cry, and twee twee, and it would actually they would type it out in the poster, twee twee. You know what I mean? So it is ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you know what? I mean, it didn't have a ridiculous quality but it had like the capacity to be, and it did for some people. And it was just like, it was one of those like, oh my god, I can't contain myself. That was too funny. It was like a little bit silly. But.
Right.
I think too at the start, when they're fighting the kaiju, it was like a little bit goofy, but then I feel like by the end, when she's waking her way through like the secret base to grab that president, it is a little bit more intimidating, I think, at that moment. And when she's flying off with him and drops him, like I think it kind of turns it around and turns this like goofy thing into something that works. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now we're gonna jump to the standout character from the Justice Gang, Eddie Gathegi. Is that how you pronounce it?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
That guy was so good. He almost stole the movie.
Yeah.
Right? And even though I've always thought this version of the character was created in the 90s, but his whole look is so weirdly retro, like with the T on his face and the jacket and the Mr. Terrific
Fair play.
Yeah, fair play. The fair play part is from the 40s, but it's over the top. But combining that with his circles and his like UFO ship, what a cool character, eh? Like this guy,
so great.
And we've seen it before. Like he was in Arrow, and he was fine. But this guy is great, right? Jolie, what do you think?
Guess who else he is?
Who? Darwin?
Laurent.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Laurent from the Twilight Saga.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when there's 3 vampires?
I don't even
and they're
know.
all hunting Bella? He's like the one with like the really long dreadlocks.
Oh, yes. Okay. Because I saw them on the theater. How would I know that? Anyway.
Just in case anyone wanted to know, Mike-El is Team Edward, as you should be.
100% to the end. Anyway, okay. So, Josh, what'd you think of Mr. Terrific?
He was definitely the standout of the Justice Gang, and like you said, he did almost steal the show. I think that he played it really smart, where I feel like all of his moments you would typically think would be things that Superman would be doing, like the fact that pretty much everything he does, he gets it correct. He gets it right. And I really like that about his character, because his only power is that he's extremely smart. So everything about him is just his brain. So that moment where they raid that compound on the beach and they go into the tent, like when he throws the bubble down and Lois is there and we're doing this crazy thing with the camera following around, that's where those moments work for me.
Sure.
Is when it's not this character that's supposed to be all powerful. We're giving this kind of, this hero that nobody really knows or cares about, really. This moment to shine and be badass. That's when I think those moments work so well.
Interesting.
And I think on top of that too, like, we see him the entire movie being so like stoic, like all of his responses are like monotone and very robotic. So yeah, when we get those moments of him being badass, it feels earned, like it's like, yeah, finally. Superman's flying around and doing all this goofy stuff the entire movie, so it doesn't mean anything when he flies up and gets all of those drones or whatever, right? So yeah, I think he's played really well, and honestly, Gunn, this is his speciality, right?
Yeah, this is his forte, is finding these obscure characters, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean, is like when I said that he's not the perfect guy for Superman, he's maybe in the top 5. He is the perfect guy for Peacemaker and for Mr. Terrific and Suicide Squad and these Z characters.
Metamorpho?
Yeah, like Metamorpho.
Oh, man.
Yeah, let's talk about Metamorpho. Like, I didn't know this, but that actor has, what is it called? Alopecia? Alopecia. So he doesn't have any hair.
Yeah.
And he's the perfect guy for this role. Again, like, that's genius casting, right? And even though I thought there was, going in, I was worried there'd be too many characters. At least his character was crucial to the plot, right? So.
And I think they find a really good balance of like introducing him in the middle of the story, really, and then bringing him back at the end, and it doesn't feel clunky.
Right.
Like he's almost like a plot point in this story, and then a character second. But they do such a great job writing him that he feels like part of the story and not just this MacGuffin or whatever to get them out of the prison. Yeah.
Jolie, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you get like the big cabin in the woods monster house full of like, it's Lex Luthor's like cabinet of people he hates, people he hates a little bit. Like, it's a really weird place. I'd like to maybe that, like, psychologically that's weird. Like, that's probably the best part of that Lex Luthor character. But anyway, you get like these aliens, different sort of alien experiences, as experienced by another alien like Clark Kent, and who is a human, who's an alien who's becoming a human or whatever, or identifies as human. And it's nice to it's he uses and pulls all those experiences, and they all level with each other in the same way. Like, we're scared. We're all scared. And the only thing that will help us is love and being nice to each other.
Yeah.
And that's how everyone gets out of this jam. And like an unhinged, untrained dog. But like, yeah.
I also absolutely love the practical effects. Like, the fact that they put him in the makeup and the costume.
Sure.
And he's actually standing there with all of these different, materials on him.
Yes. Oh, yes.
It really makes that character work in this movie. I love physically how he looks. Like,
how he looks? I agree. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to talk about another super-powered metahuman who was a standout for me. If I can just click on this. Maria Gabriela de Faria, who played the engineer, a character who I barely know anything about.
Yeah.
She was the one who's changing shape and everything. So she's from The Authority, which is a Wildstorm character that they brought into DC, which I wish they didn't do. But her character, I thought her acting was perfect, because the thing I liked about her is she was like tough, but she wasn't a bad guy. She was just a henchman. She was just doing her job. And she was always ready to do whatever she had to do, but she seemed like a fully fleshed out person, not just like an evil supervillain, right?
Yeah.
She just happened to be working for Lex Luthor. That's what I liked about her.
Even to that point, even the people who were working for Lex Luthor, this is just a job for them.
Right.
But like, the engineer is like a wild character to me. Just like the whole idea of like using nanites.
Yeah.
It was giving me like Big Hero 6 energy.
Yeah.
But like in a diabolical, dangerous kind of way. Spoiler alert, when they use them to like almost suffocate Superman, that was one of those moments where I was like, oh my God, where's Mr. Terrific? Yeah. Superman's not going to get out of this one on his own.
Exactly. That was a legitimately scary moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like, and these were the types of, she delivered time and time, this character and this actress delivered time and time again those scenarios where you're like, I don't think Superman's going to get out of this one, or Superman has to get out of this one. I know he does because of who he is, but how does he do it? Yeah. I can't think of how he's going to do it. And then when he flies up into like, the 11th level of hell, slash space, but like, you see that and you're like, oh my God. That is some quick thinking, and that is something that Superman would have had to learn as a human being,
right?
About the Earth's atmosphere and his physiology, and like anyone's ability to survive in the vacuum of space. Like, you had to go up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just you go, oh yeah, well I knew that, but I don't need that to save my life,
right?
But yeah, the engineer is frightening. Who is the other henchman as well?
It's funny. I can't remember who it was. Who was it?
It was Superman. It was the clone of Superman, right?
Oh, the clone, because he was in black. That's right.
Yeah, they named him though? Ultraman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And really, he's Bizarro, but a different version of Bizarro. He's a clone of Superman.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of Bizarro.
I was waiting for them to give me like the origins of Bizarro again.
It would be interesting if that version does come back at some point from getting sucked into the black hole, and maybe whatever happened to him like disfigured him, and that's why he looks like a zombie Superman.
Yeah,
It'd
that'd be
fun.
great. I agree.
But I like that. I like that twist. I did see it coming.
Well, aren't you a smarty pants?
The twist.
Because I didn't.
Oh, really?
No.
I think that the twist was fine. I think what worked for me really, really well with that character was the fact that he was almost completely controlled by Lex, and wasn't just like this brute. Like I love that he's almost like programmed, and Lex behind the scenes is controlling him with these commands, and he has all of these.
I like that.
It's so great. Yeah.
So, I mean, should we talk about everyone in the movie? Maybe. We have to talk about, no. Let's just quickly run off the ones we haven't talked about. Bradley Cooper is Jor-El, one of my favorite
I didn't even know that was Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. One of my favorite actors, and I'm so glad they cast him. I'm so glad, because we know he'll be back. Yeah. Did you like him?
I thought it was fine. Like, I don't know.
He didn't do much, but...
Yeah, they
good for a hologram.
They filmed all of his scenes in probably an hour. You know what I mean? Like, the two of them are just standing there, and they say one line. Really?
Sure. I'm just saying I'm glad they picked... Because I didn't even know it was him before I went in, so I'm glad that they...
Interesting.
Because he's one of my favorite actors. So.
I figured that... I don't know if he will come back. Do you think that he'll come back as like a bigger...
No. Like, they'll just have more recordings. And by the way, one of the things I'm against with all versions of Jor-El, I don't like the way that he's a computer program, but he can interact with Clark Kent and talk to him. I don't like that. Like, the character is dead, and he should be dead. But if they were to bring back just recordings with messages, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, really quickly, Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah. He was the same character as he was as Crossbones in the MCU.
Yeah, who was he?
He was Crossbones in the MCU.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
he's practically the same character.
Yeah.
He's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michaela Hoover as Cat. Oh, go ahead.
So he is a character that was brought over from Creature Commandos.
That's what I wasn't Oh, he's the leader.
He's the leader in the animated show, and
which I haven't seen.
That actor does voice. So that's really something interesting about James Gunn's version.
Yep.
He's casting them for the same voice cast as playing them in live action. So they're making the animated characters look like the actor, so they can cross over, which is cool.
Yep.
But yeah, he's fine. He's just a dude in this one.
Yeah.
You know.
Michaela Hoover as Cat Grant. Remember her? She was in The Office. She had blonde hair.
Yeah.
Didn't have much to do, but
yeah.
Just for the record, G.I.Jolie, Cat Grant was the boss in Supergirl. Played by
what's
her name?
Ally McBeal.
Ally McBeal. Yeah. Did you watch Supergirl, Josh?
No.
Because Cat Grant, a completely different version of her, but she was the boss in the newspaper in the TV show Supergirl, cool. Played by the actress that played Ally McBeal. Can't remember her name, but she's a great actress. Totally different character than this version.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of doing the Daily Planet. So you get your Cat Grant. She's probably like a gossip columnist who does fluff pieces, or like maybe a little bit of editing, and definitely a lot of tweeting. That's just. I think that's how they played her. Even like the fact that Perry in the spaceship was like, "All right, draft it," and then they showed them putting it on all platforms and then posting it. Like, they did a very good way. It was updated in a very good way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
We've got Alan Tudyk. How do you pronounce that, Jolie?
Alan Tudyk.
Tudyk as the robot. I thought he was great. I didn't even know it was him.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know it was him.
Well, immediately he opens his mouth and you go, "Oh, K2SO."
Ah, okay.
And you go, "Wait, Alan Tudyk."
Yeah.
Because it's the same guy. But yeah, it's nice to have a Nathan Fillion wash.
Yes.
Sort of reunion. I anytime Firefly can infiltrate something, it should happen. Also, Alan Tudyk is he is still a really great actor, but he's becoming this prolific voice actor too.
Yeah.
Right.
So good for him.
Josh, have you ever seen Dollhouse?
No.
Okay,
I
I'm not gonna say another word. Watch Dollhouse. There's only 14 episodes, and it's Joss Whedon.
Okay, cool.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say another word. Okay.
Yeah.
Move on to the next thing. So you don't, because I don't. If you Google it, you'll spoil it. So don't even Google it. Just watch it.
All
Okay.
right.
Anyway, sorry. What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say there's a bunch of random cameos in the robots.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah. Pompoka. What's her name? She plays Mantis in the MCU. She's also
Clemente.
yes. So she's like the new robot at the start that introduced herself, and she's like excited that Superman looks at her, and
So James Gunn is sneaking them all in. That's great.
Yeah. There's another one. There was another like James Gunn friend snuck in as one of the robots. I can't remember who right now. But
is it Michael Rooker?
Possibly. Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because he's in the cast. That's cool.
Yeah. Also, another pays to be James Gunn's brother.
I know.
You get the super role of Maxwell Lord.
Well, here's the thing: is Maxwell Lord was again. Josh, you didn't see Supergirl, the TV show, right?
No.
Maxwell Lord was the main supervillain. He was like the Lex Luthor of the TV show, played by this really like handsome, like slimebally, philanthropist type. And then he was Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman, totally different version. And now we have Sean Gunn, the Clint Howard of the James Gunn family, right? But whatever, that's fine. I would do the same thing for my friends and my brother. We got a couple more actors. What about this was to me the oddest choice. The two actors they got to play Ma and Pa Kent, Pruitt Taylor Vince and Neva Howell.
Oh, I think it's brilliant. They're new, right? Like they've never done anything before.
What do you mean?
I don't think that they've really acted in much.
Oh no, no. Pruitt Taylor Vince, he was in X-Files like 30 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is one for the 80s babies and the 70s babies.
Interesting. Okay.
But and then Neva Howell. I don't think she's done much. But let's put it this way. I've always wondered, and I'm not an expert on American accents, but Superman grew up on a farm, and it's always implied it's in Kansas. And I don't know what a Kansas accent is, but these two are the most blatantly Southern actors.
Apparently, they worked on the accents a lot. I was watching this interview where James Gunn, I think, was talking about the fact that he went to people he knew from that area and played them the accents to make sure that it was authentic.
Nice.
So,
well, that's good.
Yeah. So that's
why not?
Yeah, that's cool. They were really fun. I like that it wasn't. I feel like when Bradley Cooper showed up, for me, it was a little bit distracting.
Because
it's Bradley
probably
Cooper.
He might be the biggest star in the movie. You're right.
So when they show up, I'm not even questioning it. I'm just totally immersed in their Ma and Pa Kent.
Yeah.
And I think that they did a really great job, and maybe some of my favorite casting in the movie. I think they do really feel like.
Well, and the opposite of the actors in Smallville, right? The opposite. Julie, what did you think?
Well, Smallville, you get your leglamour versions of everything, right? And this is I heard someone describe them as the Temu version. I was like, no. This is a legit, authentic version, Ma Pa Kent. If you shot a baby into outer space and it landed on Earth and in Kansas, this is the farm and these would be the farmers. Yeah. These are what farmers look like, people.
Yeah.
Or actors in England. But they just look like real people.
Right. They don't look like John Schneider and Annette O'Toole. Right. You're right.
Yeah. What, Kevin Costner, didn't he play Pa Kent at one point?
And the Ma Kent was, what's her name? Another supermodel.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember her name, but it doesn't matter.
Freaking Mira Sorvino. Who are these people playing Ma and Pa Kent?
I know.
Hey, look, these are people who look like actual
farmers. Mm-hmm. Right.
And you buy them as they're not as, and here's the thing, Clark is an alien. So sitting beside Pa Kent, like you get that like dichotomy of almost like a perfect being because this man is attractive. That was very distracting with this film. And then you get Pa Kent who raised him and loved him, and it all washes away, and you just get like you're able to like you're able to visually see all the differences between them. But this is what it like. Those are the people that raised him. The aliens that shot him in his face. These are the people that raised him. And these two people are the people that you see, despite him being a perfect being who's here apparently to destroy humans or enslave them. Like, no, he's going to just, he's a product of them.
Right.
I don't know. It's hard to it's hard to say what I'm thinking, but
yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the main messages of the movie. And we only have a few minutes left, so I just want to jump to the plot really quick. There's going to be a lot of different takes. Okay, we're not even going to talk about the politics because I think we're all on the same page about them. But
yeah,
do we think that the message from Jor-El was fake? Now, the reason I ask is because if it was real, it's a pretty good plot twist. It might have been done in the comics, maybe at some point. But the thing about this day and age is that we have better deep fake technology than Lex Luthor does. I mean, like, we could do that. Like, me and Josh and Julie, we could do deep fake. So the fact that this movie hinges on a message from another planet that was in another language, and yet they're like, oh, no, it's real. We got some experts and it's real. Well, wait a minute. Who on this planet could speak Krypton? A. B. How easy is it to alter this footage? So it's almost like they either went so over the top to convince us it was real that it is fake, or that they kind of realized no one's going to believe it's real, so we have to keep repeating it over and over again.
Yeah, I think I really like the twist. I know some people are upset by it, and that might be. I might not care as much because I'm not like super into the lore, but
yeah,
I think this really works in this movie. I think the mistake that was made for me in like deciphering whether this is real or not is they should have just had them speaking English. You're
totally right. You're totally right.
Because then there wouldn't be any question about like the deciphering of the message. And I do think that it's a real message, right? Like they bring it up a couple of times. Even Mr. Terrific is like, listen, I've gone over it myself.
Yeah.
It's not a fake. They wouldn't have released this publicly if it was. Like, there's no mistake. This is really what's going on. So yeah, I don't know. I don't question it at all. I think it's real.
I have a comment on it, but Jolie, what did you think of that twist?
It's just so funny. Like, they don't tell us how old Clark is, but it's like he crumbles. Like, he just doesn't know how to handle it immediately. Like, almost immediately. And it's like, he's like, oh my God, but people were going to die, Lois. Like, I tried to save these people and I ended up doing this and I'm just not getting it right. And then now he really is like questioning himself and really thinking he's not getting it right. But it's like, no, Superman, this is the time that you come out, you do something, and he doesn't do anything. And it's weird to have like the most trouble with that part of the story, but the most trouble as in it was like really hard for me to swallow. Like, oh my God, dilemma, how are you going to get over this like internet rumor? This is your sex tape, Superman. Like, how do you overcome this? How do you uncancel yourself? Like, on all levels, Superman is fighting for who he is, to prove himself as a human, and like at every turn we're just like not offering him any support.
Right.
This is just another one of those hurdles, and it was just so gut-wrenching to have him watch this and be like, well, screw it, I guess I'll continue to save you guys because that's just what I am and who I am.
Well, so my take on it, and they could have maybe expanded on this, is now that I think about it, I was actually in John Byrne's Man of Steel, where Lara, Superman's mother on Krypton, was the one that said, oh, well, if you're going to send him to Earth, he's obviously going to rule them. and shape them into the proper Kryptonian ways, right? And Jor-El was like, well, maybe, but maybe he'll, whatever. But I think the way that they could play it, and the way that maybe Superman could spin it, if he wants to kind of recover their reputation, is it's almost like a metaphor for colonialism. Because if you go back 100, 200, 300, 500 years, the attitude of the West, the European colonists, it's not that they were like, we're evil and we're going to go and kill everybody. No, it's just like, they're like, well, we're superior to them, so we're obviously going to rule them. As recently as like World War II, what's his name? Winston Churchill used to say things about like African tribes people, like, oh yeah, well, I mean, yeah, like if we have to gas them, we'll gas them. They should be gassed. If they do A, B, and C, we'll just gas them. Even what's his name? Abraham Lincoln. It's been said that even though he was the one that signed the Emancipation or whatever, he was like, oh no, but they shouldn't vote. Black people can't vote. Let's be serious. So I think it's more that kind of attitude. Like from the Kryptonian point of view, Superman is a Superman, and we're chimpanzees compared to him. So I think it's more that attitude. Like it's not like he's an evil dictator, but he's obviously going to rule over them,
right?
Because he's better. Anyway, just a thought.
And I think it really plays well against Lex Luthor, who is essentially playing that role, right?
Right.
He is the one that's like, I'm actually better than everybody, and I don't really care what I have to do or who I have to lock up, or how many monkeys I have to brainwash to tweet like shit about Superman. Like I'm just gonna do it. So I think that plot line is very important for this version and works.
Well, I guess if I can say my final, it's funny because it's like I had mixed feelings when I saw the movie, but now that we're talking about it, not only do I want to see it again, this is a big statement. I am so excited to see what he's going to do next. It's like James Gunn has whetted my appetite. Oh, okay, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? What's next? What's next, right?
Yeah.
That's the feeling I have right now. What about you guys?
I'm very excited to see more, and I think the thing I'm maybe most excited for is Batman. And I know like, oh yeah, everybody's excited to see another Batman, but I think up until I saw this movie, I was not excited for Batman. But seeing how like refreshing this version of Superman is, and how like wonderful this take on this universe is, I can't wait to see a more fun Batman. Like bring in a little bit more of like the camp and comic book Batman. I don't need another Christopher Nolan dark Batman. Put him in the blue trunks.
Here's the thing. I hope to Christ they never do that, because no, don't get me wrong. That version that would be fun, and I love James Gunn. But I really do want to see, like, I actually would like to see Matt Reeves' Batman be the Batman in this version, even though it's a completely different tone. Goes back to our argument. Remember we had with Ian like 6 months ago, where we agreed that Matt Reeves' Batman cannot really fit with James Gunn's Superman. Right. So you kind of either have to just smash them together and see what happens, or you do the Adam West Batman. Right? Yeah,
I love the Matt Reeves Batman. I think it's super fun. But like, Batman might work in this world, but I think that the Gotham that they've set up and the villains don't translate well to this Superman for me. Like it just like that version of the Riddler is not the Riddler that I want to see in this DC universe. I want to see him in the green suit with the question marks all over. Yeah. I want to see that version. So I want both. You know what I mean? Like I want to see both. Like I'm not tired of the old one. I'm just excited to see this new take on the Batman movies.
G.I.Jolie, what do you think?
I hate going last, I guess.
Well, what do you think about, like, do you want to see more of a fun Adam West Batman, or would you want to see Matt Reeves Batman in this?
I want to see... I guess Matt Reeves Batman was a little more of a detective. But he doesn't have to be so grim. You know? Like, everything is all doom and gloom, and like Batman might die. It feels like he might die there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Gotham is not a place you want to go. And I want to see a version of Gotham. Like, I like seeing Chicago as Gotham in Christopher Nolan's world, like Gotham in the daylight. It just seemed like a more suitable atmosphere and more believable. Like, but every single other place, including some cartoons, Gotham is just like this hellhole that like is full of pollution and crime, and like in levels, like Dark City style levels. And I want to see. I don't want to see a blue, but maybe a blue gray.
Sure.
Yeah, like because you can still do a detective style, but also in the light of the sun.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they could also almost play it for laughs, because, and what I mean is, like, Mr. Terrific is deadpan, but he is funny.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if they played Batman to be, Batman doesn't think he's funny. Batman's serious, and he is serious. But to us, he's almost like ridiculous because he's so self-absorbed and self-important, maybe.
It's hard to put a character like Batman, a human being who is rich, who is tortured mindfully, like, against somebody who is Superman. So,
I know. I agree.
I don't know. I'm excited for whatever happens, because nothing this good has happened in the DC universe since Peacemaker, the television show. So,
Yep.
nothing has excited me this much
Right.
since Peacemaker.
Nothing's excited me this much superhero-wise in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I posted that. I tweeted, like, this is the freshest Superman movie I've seen in years. And what the hell does that mean? Someone attacking me. I'm not even going to explain it. Forget it. You know what I mean? So anyway, like I said, it makes me want to see the movie again, and it makes me excited for more James Gunn.
Yep.
And even though I love everything James Gunn, I actually haven't seen Creature Commandos. So now I want to go and watch it just to fill that James Gunn size hole in my heart, So
Yeah.
So I guess that's it. I mean, we could talk all night about this, but unfortunately, we've all got stuff to do.
won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it, huh? Oh, go ahead, Jolie.
I was going to show you all the things. This is how much I loved it. See, look at it. Check it out. Okay, so it opens.
Nice.
But you can change the newspaper so it's Superman.
Oh,
That's
that's great.
awesome.
That's great. Wow.
And like inside is like the last edition of the newspaper. In there,
Nice.
you can see it.
Whoa, that's awesome.
And like we ate popcorn out of it.
That's
amazing.
But
Oh, Jolie, I forgot to ask you. Did your kids see this?
we all went together. Yeah.
Did they like it?
Hannah said she cried because she cried in the beginning, and then she stopped, and then she cried at another point, and she didn't stop crying because it was, quote, so beautiful.
Oh, that's sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the boys, they love Marvel movies for what they are, but they were like, whoa, this is like, but we are like a Batman family.
Okay.
So to see this, everyone was very excited. Richard really liked it as well. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I will say, like, going back to what I said about being an origin or being whatever, at the end of the day, the number one goal of this movie to me is to get new young fans into Superman. So if kids like it, then that's more important than me liking it.
And that's the thing. The way to get new young fans in is to not go over the origin story again. They knew it. They knew it already. They get it. They're at the part in their lives now where weirdly The Simpsons is showing them the origin. Like, they're discovering Simpsons and Family Guy. It's weird. But like, they don't need to see it. They already know it.
Yeah.
And they get to see Superman and all these other characters do their thing and like really enjoy it. And they are huge Guardians of the Galaxy fans. And we were making comments about how they didn't do the trope, the Marvel trope of like nostalgia music carrying your feelings.
Interesting. Okay.
Right? They did it, but they didn't like, they didn't hit you over the head with it in this one.
Right. Mm-hmm.
which is perfect. It's just the right amount.
So I guess that wraps up our Superman review. We will be doing Fantastic Four in 2 weeks, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to
Right,
make
Josh?
that one too.
I'm definitely gonna go see it. I am so cautiously optimistic about this
Sure,
movie.
me too.
It looks so fresh and exciting. The thought of an MCU movie completely set in the 60s in another universe is so like enticing to me.
My idea. Yeah.
But what scares me is the fact that Marvel, they really need to get them over to the MCU. Ooh,
I know,
and I just
know.
know that's what's gonna end up.
That's what's coming.
That's what's the movie's gonna end up being about, and I'm
Sure.
just not looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
we'll find out in
yeah.
2 weeks, and we're gonna review it, and we're gonna review. Oh, guess what? We also do Tape Crusaders, and don't forget to look out for our Jaws review with Steve Kessel, Dr. Steve Kessel. We'll look out for our Empire Strikes Back review coming up very soon,
Yep.
as well as our review of Spider-Man 1 and possibly The Naked Gun. Right?
Possibly.
Yep. And Josh, where can you find our episodes?
Yeah, you can find all of our episodes on our website at comicbooksyndicate.com. You can also find the video format versions on our YouTube channel, so check us out there.
And we want to thank G.I.Jolie for coming back, and you're welcome to join us for each and every movie review coming up.
As long as I can get everybody out of the house. We live in a very small apartment, so there's not a lot. Like, I've been kind of like, oh my god, they're gonna come in at any moment now.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Until the next time. See you later.